morning, dear students. This is Sudha ma'am. Welcome to the sixth session of lesson 2, that is respiration, the energy releasing system. Let's have a quick recap of our previous session. In our previous session, we have studied about the formation of carbon dioxide and heat during anaerobic respiration of yeast, about fermentation and difference between respiration and combustion. Now, coming to today's session, today we are studying two topics, that is 1. Production of heat in living organisms, 2. Evolution in gases exchanging system. We have already known that heat is produced by burning of glucose or sugar. Living animals and plants usually produce energy in the form of heat. During winter season, we feel warm when we wear sweater, as wool is a poor conductor of heat. It prevents the loss of heat energy produced by our body. Heat is constantly lost from the body surface, thus it must be continuously generated within our bodies to replace what has been lost. This is taken care by respiration. Why do we need to maintain constant body temperature? Because energy in our body cells are able to catalyze chemical reactions at correct temperature. So, we have to maintain constant body temperature. The rate of heat produced is not same always. After strenuous exercise, a greater amount of heat is generated. So, we feel hot after some form of strenuous exercise. During cellular respiration, energy is released and stored in the form of ATP. Some part of energy is utilized for our day-to-day activities and the rest of the energy is released in the form of heat. During physical activity or any strenuous exercise, our muscles need more energy. So, rate of respiration increases and obviously excess amount of heat is released from the body. Hence, we feel warm during vigorous exercise. If oxygen is not sufficient, our muscle cells respire anaerobically and releases lactic acid. Accumulation of lactic acid in the muscles leads to pain and muscle cramps. We reach normal position after taking some rest. Deep breathing helps us to restore energy in our body. Now, let's move on to the next topic, that is evolution in gases exchanging system. Let us know first what is evolution. The accumulation of change is called evolution, or the gradual development of something is called evolution. The accumulation of change or gradual development of something is called evolution. So, in this topic, we are going to learn how respiratory organs gradually developed from unicellular organisms like amoeba to multicellular organisms like human beings. Already you learnt about classification of animals in your class 9, where you have observed the gradual development in the different organs of organisms. Now, let us study the gradual development or evolution in the gases exchanging system. Some unicellular organisms like amoeba, paramecium, chlorella, plasmodium, etc., or multicellular organisms like hydra and planaria obtain oxygen and expel carbon dioxide directly from the surface of the body through the process of diffusion. Oxygen present in the body is utilized and carbon dioxide is released within the organisms. But outside of the body, in the atmosphere, more oxygen is present. So, naturally, diffusion takes place. Gradually, in multicellular organisms, special organs are evolved for respiration. Animals, either terrestrial, that means which live on land, or aquatic, that means which live in water, adapted different types of respiratory organs. Development of respiratory organs mostly depend on four factors, that is habitat, that means place where they are living, their body size, whether they are big animal or small, and availability of water, and type of circulatory system. Here type of circulatory system is very important because the oxygen is carried by blood. That is why this is most important. So these are the some reasons for the animals to develop different types of respiratory organs. In insects like cockroach, grasshopper, etc., there is tracheal respiratory system. It consists of series of tubes called trachea, which opens out on either side of the body of insect by small openings called spiracles. The trachea is divided into fine branches called tracheoles, which carry air directly to the cells in the tissues. Then oxygen is absorbed and carbon dioxide is released, which comes in the same reverse path, like cells to tissues, tissues to tracheoles, to trachea, and to outside through spiracles. This is about tracheal respiratory system in insects. Some aquatic animals like fishes have bronchial respiration. Generally, fishes develop special organs for respiration which are known as gills. And these gills are present under the operculum, which is present on either side of the head. And the gills are richly supplied with blood capillaries, and the blood capillaries are thin walled, which facilitate the exchange of gases. Fish keep its mouth open and draw water into its oral cavity. From there, water is pushed into the pharynx and is forced into the gill pouches through internal bronchial openings. Gills are made up of feathery structures called gill filaments, providing a large surface area for exchange of gases. The oxygen dissolved in water passes into the blood capillaries and CO2 is expelled out. This is called bronchial respiration. Let's move on to the next type, that is cutaneous respiration, means respiration through skin. Example, earthworm, leech, frog, etc. Earthworms do not have lungs. They breathe through their skin. Oxygen and carbon dioxide pass through skin by diffusion. For diffusion to occur, the earthworm's skin must be kept moist. The skin is richly supplied with blood vessels. The respiratory pigment, that is hemoglobin, carries oxygen to the tissues. The skin is always kept moist because of the secretion of mucus and coelomic fluid, which comes out through dorsal pores. And coming to the frog, Frog is an amphibian and can respire through skin, that is cutaneous, and through lungs, that is pulmonary, and by buccopharyngeal cavity. The lining of the mouth is very moist and can be used to bring oxygen into the bloodstream by dissolving it and diffusing it into the blood capillaries. In the same way to the skin respiration system. Buccopharyngeal respiration occurs through the lining of the mouth in frog. And the tadpole, that is young frog, breathe through the gills. Terrestrial animals like reptiles, birds and mammals respire through lungs, what we call it as pulmonary respiration. Let's see respiration in crocodile and dolphins. Crocodiles are reptiles and they respire by using lungs. They can actually get oxygen through their skin, but they dry out fast. Crocodiles can also do with the less oxygen than us because they are cold blooded, means they can change their body temperature according to their surroundings and they do not maintain constant body temperature, hence called cold blooded animals. Crocodiles can stay underwater for 10 to 15 minutes. If the crocodile is trying to hide from a threat, then it will stay up to 30 minutes or more. Now coming to the dolphins. Dolphins are mammals much like human beings and they are warm blooded, which means they have constant body temperature. Hence, they breathe using lungs just like we do. They breathe through nostrils called a blowhole located right on the top of their heads. This allows them to take breath by exposing the blowhole to the air. While swimming or resting under the water, they can hold their breath for about 15 minutes. When the dolphin is underwater, the blowhole flap is closed. The blowhole flap is closed, so water doesn't flood in. Typically, they breathe about 4 to 5 times per minute. That's all about evolution in gases exchanging system. Let's summarize today's topics. Today, we have studied about the production of heat during respiration and evolution in gases exchanging system. That's all for today. Thank you.